Welcome to Relaxed Reddit Readings. Today we have 4 Reddit stories for you. Reddit stories that made me question everything. Story 1. My best friend refused to hire our wedding photographer. So my best friend just refused to let me use the photographer she turned down for our PhD graduation. I know that sounds confusing, so let me back up. I'm an international student who just finished my PhD in the US, which is honestly a huge deal for me. My family couldn't afford to fly in for graduation, so I was going to be completely alone on one of the biggest days of my life. Months before graduation, I asked my best friend and roommate Elena, who was also graduating, if she wanted to split the cost of a photographer. She immediately shot it down, saying it was a waste of money. I even asked if her family could just take a few pictures of me on their phones when they came for her graduation, and she said no because they'd be too busy focusing on her. So I ended up hiring the photographer myself because this moment was important to me, and I wanted some decent photos to send back to my family. Fast forward to graduation day, and something amazing happened. A representative from my country's consulate showed up to congratulate me, which was incredibly meaningful since my family couldn't be there. The photographer I hired got some beautiful shots of this moment, and honestly, I was so grateful I'd made that investment. But here's where it gets messy. A few weeks later, Elena comes to me and asks if she can hire the same photographer for some post-graduation photos. Apparently, she wasn't happy with the pictures her family took, and now she suddenly thinks professional photography is worth it. I told her no, she couldn't use my photographer. My reasoning was that she had the chance to hire this photographer with me months ago. She refused, and she even refused to help me get a single photo on my graduation day. Why should I help her now when she couldn't be bothered to help me when I needed it? Elena is furious with me. She's saying I'm being petty and vindictive, and that I'm punishing her for a simple change of mind. She claims she didn't realize how important good photos would be until after graduation, and that I'm being unreasonable for not sharing the photographer's contact information. But honestly, I feel like this goes deeper than just photos. When I needed support on my graduation day, she couldn't even be bothered to ask her family to take a quick picture of me. Now that she wants something, suddenly I'm supposed to drop everything and help her out. Some of our mutual friends think I should just give her the photographer's info because it's not that big a deal, but others say she made her bed and now she has to lie in it. I keep going back and forth on this. Part of me wonders if I'm holding on to hurt feelings and being unnecessarily difficult. But another part of me feels like there have to be consequences when someone consistently prioritizes themselves over your friendship. Am I being petty here, or is this about something bigger than just photography? If you're enjoying these stories, hit that like button and let me know in the comments which story you relate to the most. Story 2. I started a dress code revolution at my restaurant job. So I accidentally started a workplace revolution and got all my coworkers in trouble, and now I'm wondering if I'm the villain here. I started working at this restaurant that has a pretty strict dress code. We have to wear these specific shorts that honestly feel way too short for my comfort level, and this shirt that's incredibly itchy and uncomfortable. But you know, it's a job, so I sucked it up and wore the uniform religiously for the first couple of weeks. Then I started noticing something weird. I was literally the only person wearing the full uniform most of the time. Like, everyone else would show up in their regular clothes, maybe throw on the company shirt if a manager was around, but nobody seemed to be following the dress code that I was religiously adhering to. So I thought, okay, if nobody else is doing it, why am I making myself miserable in these uncomfortable clothes? I started getting more relaxed about it until eventually I just stopped wearing the uniform altogether. Well, apparently I was wrong about nobody caring, because my manager pulled me aside and grilled me about not following dress code. I was honestly embarrassed and didn't want to look like I was just being lazy or defiant, so I immediately started wearing my uniform again, every single day, without fail. But here's where I might have messed up. I was feeling frustrated about being singled out when everyone else was doing the same thing I was doing, so I made a comment to my manager. I said something like, I noticed I wasn't the only one not following dress code, so I figured it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't trying to throw anyone under the bus, I was just trying to explain my reasoning and maybe point out that the rule enforcement seemed inconsistent. Well, that comment apparently triggered a restaurant-wide crackdown. Management started paying way more attention to everyone's uniforms, and now all my coworkers are getting written up and disciplined for dress code violations. The whole atmosphere at work has changed. People are stressed, everyone's getting in trouble, and the managers are being way more strict about everything, not just uniforms. My coworkers have figured out that I'm the one who brought this to management's attention, and now they're all mad at me. They're saying I should have just kept my mouth shut and that I ruined a good thing for everyone. Some people are being pretty cold to me, and I heard through the grapevine that people think I'm a snitch. The thing is, I really wasn't trying to get anyone in trouble. I was just trying to explain why I thought the dress code wasn't important, and I guess I thought pointing out that others weren't following it either would help my case. Instead, it backfired spectacularly. Now I'm wondering if I should have just taken my punishment quietly and moved on. But at the same time, is it really my fault that management decided to crack down on everyone? I mean, they were the ones not following the rules in the first place, right? Did I mess up by bringing everyone else into it, or is this just an unfortunate consequence of pointing out inconsistent rule enforcement? Story 3. My son's ex is taking over my house. So my wife is hosting my 18-year-old son's ex-girlfriend at our house, and I finally put my foot down about it. Let me explain this whole messy situation. My son was dating this girl Mia from his senior year of high school up until a few weeks ago. She goes to community college while he's living on campus at his university. My wife and I both really liked Mia, she seemed like a sweet girl and fit in well with our family. My son recently broke up with her, and his reasoning was pretty typical college stuff. He said he felt like he couldn't experience the same freedom to do college things that his single friends were doing. You know, he wanted to party, meet new people, basically just be a typical college freshman without worrying about a girlfriend back home. I get it, even though it's probably not what Mia wanted to hear. Here's where it gets complicated though. Even after they broke up, my wife has continued inviting Mia over to our house. She'll have her over for dinner, they'll watch movies together, Mia hangs out with our 15-year-old daughter. It's like she's still part of the family even though she's not dating my son anymore. At first I didn't say much because I figured it would naturally fade out, but it's been weeks and my wife seems to be getting closer to Mia, not more distant. The breaking point came when my son came home from college for a weekend visit, and Mia was there having dinner with us. Talk about awkward. My son looked completely uncomfortable, Mia seemed upset seeing him, and the whole family dinner turned into this tense, weird situation where nobody knew how to act. After that dinner, I told my wife that she needed to stop inviting Mia over. I explained that it's putting our son in an uncomfortable position when he comes home, and it's probably not helping Mia move on from the relationship either. Plus, I think it sends a confusing message to our daughter about what's appropriate after a breakup. My wife completely disagrees with me. She says that Mia has become like family to her, and she doesn't think it's fair to cut her off just because she and my son aren't together anymore. She argues that Mia is going through a hard time and needs support, and that our house has been like a second home to her. She also says I'm prioritizing my son's comfort over doing the right thing for someone who's been part of our lives. I understand my wife's perspective, but I feel like there have to be boundaries here. When couples break up, especially young couples, I think it's healthier for everyone if there's some space and distance. My son should be able to come home without worrying about running into his ex-girlfriend at the dinner table. And honestly, I wonder if my wife's continued relationship with Mia is actually preventing her from moving forward. My wife thinks I'm being cold and unsympathetic, but I think I'm being practical about a situation that's become awkward for everyone involved. Am I wrong for wanting to establish some boundaries here, or should family relationships continue even after romantic ones end? Story 4. Our exchange student turned into a nightmare roommate. So our foreign exchange student has been an absolute nightmare to live with, and now I'm refusing to go to her graduation. I feel terrible about it, but let me tell you what we've been dealing with. At the beginning of the school year, my family decided to host an exchange student. We thought it would be a great cultural experience and a chance to help someone have an amazing year in America. Boy, were we wrong. This girl has been incredibly rude to us from day one. I think I've heard her say thank you maybe once, and that was for dinner. I'm not saying she needs to thank my mom for every single meal, but basic politeness would be nice, you know. She never cleans up after herself, which is driving everyone in our house crazy. Just recently, she left her plate on the dinner table, and when I pointed it out to her, asking if it was hers, she just confirmed it was and walked away. Like, she didn't even pretend to care about cleaning it up. I've had to go into our shared bathroom multiple times to clean up her messes because she just leaves things everywhere. But the bathroom situation gets worse. She takes these incredibly long showers, like 45 minutes to an hour, and we only have one bathroom upstairs. My family has had to start using the downstairs bathroom because we literally can't get into the upstairs one when she's in there. When we've tried to talk to her about keeping her showers shorter so the rest of us can use the bathroom, she just ignores us or acts like she doesn't understand what we're saying. The most frustrating part is how she treats my parents, especially my mom, who's been bending over backwards to make her feel welcome. My mom will ask her simple questions about her day or try to include her in family conversations, and she'll just give one-word answers or completely ignore her. It's gotten so bad that family dinners are awkward and uncomfortable because she just sits there silently while we try to make conversation. She's also incredibly messy in common areas. She'll leave her stuff all over the living room, kitchen counter, basically anywhere she goes, there's a trail of her belongings. When we ask her to pick up after herself, she acts put out, like we're asking her to do something unreasonable. Now her graduation is coming up, and my parents are planning to go to support her because they feel like we're her host family and it's the right thing to do. But honestly, I just can't bring myself to go. I've spent this entire school year feeling uncomfortable in my own home, dealing with her rudeness and messiness, and watching her treat my parents poorly despite everything they've done for her. The thought of sitting at her graduation and clapping for her when she's made our lives so much harder just doesn't sit right with me. My parents think I should go anyway because it's the mature thing to do, and they say that maybe she's just homesick or struggling with cultural differences. They think I'm being petty and that we should show her kindness even if she hasn't shown it to us. But I feel like there's a difference between cultural adjustment and just being an inconsiderate person. Am I being too harsh here, or is it okay to skip the graduation of someone who's made your life miserable for an entire school year? If you enjoyed these stories, drop a comment telling me which one was your favorite. And if you want more relaxed Reddit readings, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, like, comment and subscribe for more relaxed Reddit readings.